Put a couple whatever you call them.
You got to do a bomb in this room. It's terrible. They're crawling all over my legs.
Just a little of that raid would take care of it.
You think it will? Okay.
It's proven.
Jeez.
I took care of them
it
this
is.
weekend.
Yeah. You know what will take care of ants? The best stuff for ants?
An anteater.
That would be nice, yeah. Is that that stuff, the liquid stuff that's in the little plastic, what's it called? I forget. It's like almost
my goodness.
What are you talking about? Do you have those?
No.
Because that's what kills them. What are you doing? Is there one on me? Yeah. This is terrible.
You can't write that.
On top of me?
It was on your headphones.
Yeah, this is awful.
I was doing a dance in the 5 o'clock hour because one was climbing up my
There
leg.
are little tiny ants all over the studio, and it has only gotten worse this weekend.
So, and I thought the problem was us. I thought it was because we had some cookies out.
No, it's not the cookies. They've attacked us.
But my understanding is there was up front a few days ago, even before that, that they had an issue up there. So Bill is doing a bit of a dance himself right now.
Well, these little ants bite, just so you know, and I just not that
They do?
I just don't want them on me, to be honest, and crawling up my shorts.
I can appreciate that.
I was trying to keep my voice steady while I was doing the 5.
Holy
I was doing
moly.
the cha-cha.
On the line right now is Tanya Powers. It's a special. They come in a little plastic container.
It's taro.
Taro. That stuff works unbelievably well.
And how toxic is it?
It's very toxic, as it should be. I mean, you got to kill these ants.
To us,
Tanya,
I mean.
good morning. How are you?
What is going on in your
We
studio?
are having an ant attack. Like there are tiny ants coming out of the board and crawling on my
Out of
headphones.
the board?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's because we didn't have a really good winter.
And it's an old board.
You know,
It's an old
that
board.
I've often believed that because growing up down south, we would have horrible mosquitoes, and we would always say, "Oh, well, it didn't get cold enough to kill everything." And I don't know whether that was in truth or not, but it made us feel better.
It sounds good.
Well, anyway, I'm going to try to get through this, Tanya.
So sorry for the ants, man.
Yeah, it's going to be bad for the ants. So, Tanya, we're talking about the life of Muhammad Ali, and it was not a quiet life by any means. And he was probably one of the first athletes to really come out and be extremely political.
Oh, he was. You're absolutely right. I mean, he got a lot more of attention. Obviously, sometimes he may not have wanted all that attention, but he dealt with it anyway and got it. His life is being looked back on now in different parts of it, as you said. There for a while in the 60s, it was it was a tumultuous time anyway, but his career definitely, no pun intended, took quite a hit after he, was a conscientious objector, and that took a while to get resolved. It wasn't an overnight thing.
And a Muslim, and someone who really, at the end of his life, he was signing the pamphlets that he would give out, explaining his faith and denouncing the deviants that we call terrorists today.
Yeah, he is going to, and you're right. After 9/11, he spoke up about that. Matter of fact, that's part of one of his books. There have been many books written about him. He wrote a book back in, I don't have it in front of me, I believe it was 2004.
Yeah.
And it was it seemed to be, just from what I've read of it so far, I've read some of it, and it seemed to be these are my thoughts, while I've got a chance to say them, kind of thing. And matter of fact, there's one portion of that book that says how I want to be remembered. And he literally writes a paragraph of how he wants to be remembered by people.
Yeah, that was a great... it
was very moving.
It was moving, and I think one of and there was humor in it as well. I think he talked about, being the prettiest. How could anyone
he would be okay if everybody forgot how pretty he was.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly
that
what
was, I think, the last line of it. And this was a guy who, he stood up for what he believed, whether it was popular or not.
Yeah.
He had a tremendous sense of humor and an amazing way with words. By the way, the book is called The Soul of a Butterfly. I remember now.
Yeah. And when you talk about he had many critics, especially back in the 60s when men and women were off to war, especially young men being drafted into Vietnam. He refused to go based on his religion.
He did. And, like you said, he had a lot of critics for that. A lot of people, weren't real happy with that because, as you said, it was a different time. There was a lot going on in our country, and but he overcame not only the opinions of a lot of people back then. But I mean, his boxing career, again, that was not the highest point for him. He would continue to go on.
And he might have. I mean, there's a chance that he might have given up his entire career. He had no idea at that time if he would ever have boxed again. And that was the peak of his career.
Yeah, that had to be, on some level, that had to be really scary. I mean, just think about it. You're at the height of your career. You are, accomplishing all this. You've already won a gold medal. I mean, to not know if you're going to get to continue or not, that had to be kind of scary.
And also some say that Muhammad Ali really created Howard Cosell.
Those two.
Yeah, that was.
If anybody is too young to remember and I was a kid when they would do their thing and have their shtick and their stuff in the 70s, and go back and look at it on YouTube. It's just gold. It really is.
All right, Tanya, great stuff. We appreciate the time.
Sure.
Taro, by the way, is the chemical that really kills those ants. If you ever have any problems.
Good luck with the ants. Coming out of the board thing would just do it for me. I'd be gone.
A little scary. Tiny J. Powers, Fox News. Thanks so much. Here is a little tribute a friend of mine sent me this morning on Muhammad Ali that I think is worth listening to. This is all the early Muhammad Ali stuff. My memories of Muhammad Ali came in the 70s when he was fighting with Howard Cosell. Not fighting with Howard Cosell, but Howard Cosell was doing all the coverage, and those were incredible years for boxing, really incredible. Later on this morning, we'll talk to Ed Brophy from the Boxing Hall of Fame on the life of Muhammad Ali. Pretty incredible. Hold tight. We're coming back here this morning. A ton to give away. I have Chubby Checker tickets to give away, which we will give away this morning. We also have tickets for the big event coming up this Saturday at the brewery, and it is their New York State Brewery Craft Brew Fest, which is happening on Saturday at the brewery. And our free money question of the day from the Hope Michael Law Firm, $100, $200, or $300 in cash on the line here this morning. Coming up on WIBX.